Hello everyone, my name is Blue. In this video, I'm going to be drawing Pokemon evolutions as humans. I've seen other artists do this before, and it's really fun to see all the different interpretations of these Pokemon as humans. So, I thought it'd be fun to try designing some myself too. And oh, this is the third video in a row where I talk about Pokemon? Okay, that's fine, let's just get into it. Starting off with one of my favorite evolutions, Leafeon. A lot of human designs for Leafeon, or at least the ones that I've seen, are really cute, but a lot different from how I imagine them. For my design, I decided to make them a lot more androgynous. I wanted them to look like they're always out in the woods foraging, so I gave them a sort of messenger bag to carry all the plants and rocks that they find. I also added one of those clip-on tails that you attach to like a belt or something, but instead of it looking like a fox, it literally is just like a Leafeon tail. I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute. And I took that little leaf bit that's on the top of Leafeon's head and flipped it upside down to make it into their bangs because that felt pretty obvious to me. And for some extra detail, I added some patches to their shorts because I'm sure they probably had to fix them a lot after hiking in the woods. And I made their shoelaces look like leaves, even though that probably wouldn't work in real life. I just thought it was kind of cool. And for the colors, I kind of leaned heavily into the brown, even though it's an accent color. And I kind of found that I was also doing that a lot with the other designs where I took the main color and kind of made it an accent. Probably because I struggle with using lighter colors for my designs. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's just something that I need to work on in the future. And it might be because it's kind of harder for me to make a more balanced and cohesive looking design when it's mostly pastels and lighter colors. But as you'll see in a minute, I think this design turned out pretty good despite that. For their personality, they're definitely really calm and quiet, and they are not really the talkative type. They prefer being alone over crowds, their only exception being their friends, which are obviously the other human evolutions. They love the outdoors and are always collecting rocks and other little things they find out in the woods. They also collect random things to give to all their friends, and their friends end up with rock collections that they didn't ask for but appreciate too much to get rid of. Also, I decided that all of the evolution humans live together. For no particular reason, they're not like related or anything, but I just thought it'd be fun. What can I say? I just love the found family trope. But yeah, that's about all I have on Leafeon. I love their design, I love their character, I think they're very cute. Next is Vaporeon. When making these designs, I was trying to keep in mind a sort of hobby or interest that I could base their characters off of. And a lot of ideas came to mind because Vaporeon's a water type. I could go with something like swimming, you know? But I decided to go with fishing because I thought it was kind of funny. And I love it because it is not the most aesthetically pleasing choice, but I think that's kind of what makes it so good. I wanted to make her look like she's very dedicated to fishing. Like, this is not a casual hobby for her, this is serious. So I gave her these sort of overall type waders, with a diamond pattern going down the side to mimic the spikes on Vaporeon's back. And they're off the shoulder so I can show that she's wearing a fishing vest. Her sleeves are kind of ripped to look like the spiky collar around Vaporeon's neck, and the pigtails are supposed to mimic the fins that are on Vaporeon's head. And I also wanted her to look pretty muscly. I could have made her more muscly, but I was trying to figure out this pose and I just didn't, so definitely the next time I draw her, I will. She has a pretty intense personality and she's very passionate about the people and things that she loves. She's definitely very goofy and loves to make dumb dad jokes all the time. But she can also be pretty serious and cares deeply about her friends and is always there for them when they need it. I imagine she likes to wake up super early every morning, both because she likes to and also that's usually the best time to go fishing. She's probably brought fish home for dinner so much that everyone else in the house got sick of it and had to put a limit on how often they could have seafood for dinner. But other than that, she gets along with everyone very well, almost never getting into arguments, and she's always an optimist in every situation. I love how she turned out, I love her design, her personality is hilarious, she's so silly. And that's all I gotta say, I just love her. And next up is Jolteon. Designing him was a lot of fun. I immediately decided I wanted him to be punk. I am sure this has been done many times before, but I had to. I gave him Liberty Spikes because I've been looking for an excuse to give a character that hairstyle. And this is the perfect opportunity because Jolteon is spiky and also that is a very punk hairstyle. His hair has to be my favorite part of the design, I'm obsessed with it. I tried to incorporate spikes in as many parts of the design as I could think of, and I gave him really baggy punk crust pants with the patches and rips in them. And I made the color of his vest look like lightning bolts. I felt very smart for that one. I really liked that part of his design. Now, I kind of struggled with the colors on this one, and I'm on the fence about how it came out. Once again, I took the yellow and made it kind of an accent color. Cut back to what I said about my struggle to use light colors. And I took that dark purple color in Jolteon's eyes and ears and used it on his vest and pants, which I ended up not really liking. If I used it on just the vest or just the pants, I feel like it would have been better. And off camera, I tried to fix it by using a gray paint marker. And I don't know, I don't hate it, but I probably would have done it differently. I probably could have spent more time on concept art, but it's fine. Jolteon also has a pretty intense personality. He's rowdy and loves music and is always going to local concerts around town. He has a pretty open music taste to listen to about anything, but he usually sticks to punk, grunge, and metal. And he doesn't judge anyone's taste in music, unless it's weird modern country, but that might be my own bias here. But in general, he's a very non-judgmental person. He has a very strong sense of justice and is very protective, so he would not be afraid to fight someone if they were being mean to his friends. And I love him. Besides the few things of his design I'd tweak, I'm pretty happy with it, and I think he turned out pretty cool. And last but not least, we have Espeon. For Espeon's design, I really didn't have any ideas for her, and because of that, I wasn't planning on adding her to this video at first. But as I was struggling to come up with ideas for another evolution I didn't end up including here, I thought, you know what was trending in the 60s and 70s? Psychedelic fashion and music. I mean, do you get it? Psychic type Pokemon, psychedelic. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? So that's what I went with. And I'm not gonna say that her outfit is completely 60s and 70s accurate, but I'm sure you can see the inspiration. Espeon's silhouette is pretty simple compared to the other evolutions, so I tried to tie in the shapes from the Pokemon sprite into her design as best as possible. So the ends of her hair and the bottom of her pants are supposed to look like her tail. Also, I could have used a warmer toned purple, but I didn't really have a marker that light, and I could have tried mixing some colors, but I didn't. I think it looks fine. It's as close as it's gonna get. And her outfit, I went pretty simple. I feel like I could have added more patterns on her clothes because that would have been more accurate to the 60s and 70s and it's more visually interesting. But I'm not very good at designing patterns, so I left it simple, which maybe works because like I said, Espeon's design is already pretty simple. Personality-wise, she's very calm but also quite stubborn. She's not afraid to fight you over your music taste. She is very steadfast in her opinion that the 60s and 70s had the best music. But something she won't admit is that she may or may not have a thing for 80s synth pop. But if you ever asked her, she'd tell you she hated that kind of music. That's just how stubborn she is. Anytime you see her and Jolteon, they are probably in a heated argument about music. Don't worry, they're still friends, I think. I love characters that are just somewhat annoying. I think we need more of those. But other than that, she's usually pretty nice and a good listener, but she's also very honest, so don't ask her for advice unless you want her to give it to you straight. But yeah, I love how she turned out. I encourage more people to make their characters slightly off-putting. It's very fun. And that is all. Thank you for watching. This video took way longer than it should have. Everything goes smoothly until I have to do the voiceover, and then all of a sudden, it's been a month and a half, all for a video that ended up being 10 minutes long. That's my bad. I'll try to be faster next time. I will be making a part 2 with the rest of the evolutions, eventually, so look out for that. Go follow my Instagram, like, subscribe, whatever YouTubers tell you to do, and bye-bye!